Chapter 29 of Just Stories, The Kind That Never Grow Old by Winfred Hurst, SDS. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Maria Therese. About going to Mass. Mother, I cannot miss Mass with a clear conscience. I would rather displease you than offend God. St. Genevieve, the patron saint of Paris, spoke these words when she was a little girl. It was a holy day of obligation, when every Catholic must go to Mass just as on Sundays, and Genevieve's mother wanted her to stay home and take care of the house. But as everybody could see, it was not really necessary at all. So the youthful saint respectfully told her mother how she felt about missing Mass. She was quite right. All children that are over 7 must go to Mass on Sundays and holy days of obligation, just like grown-up folks. And if anyone tries to keep them away from such a Mass without a really serious reason, they must say as St. Genevieve did, "It is better to obey God than man." Do you remember what Genevieve's mother did that time? Oh, I am almost ashamed to tell. She got very, very angry and struck the brave little girl a cruel blow on the cheek. And you should have heard her scold and call her dutiful daughter hard names. It was just too sad for anything. And to think that Genevieve was not disobedient at all. There really was no serious reason for her staying home. If she had seen any good reason whatsoever, she might have said, "My parents know best, and if I obey them, I'll also be obeying God." That would have been just right. But this was a different case. Surely, children must remember that parents take the place of God. They must therefore obey their parents in all things, except sin. But that is just why St. Genevieve could say, "Mother, I cannot miss Mass with a clear conscience. I would rather displease you than offend God." To think that her mother gave her such a cruel blow! Why, Genevieve would have done anything lawful for her mother, even the hardest things. And here she got a blow and was called offensive names for being good, for being true to conscience and to God. How such treatment must have hurt the sensitive young girl. And do you remember what God did to Genevieve's mother? He punished her. She was struck with total blindness and could not see a thing for 2 whole years. But St. Genevieve was a good and loving daughter. She prayed and prayed, prayed to God devoutly every day that He might restore her dear mother's sight. And the good God heard her prayer. Her mother saw again. First she saw how wrongly she had acted, and then she saw again the light of day. I really wish that everybody would see that there is nothing better than hearing Holy Mass, I mean. We should long to hear Mass every day. On Sundays and holy days of obligation we must go to Mass, of course under pain of serious sin, just as we must abstain from meat on Friday. But when we consider that in each holy Mass we can offer God infinite adoration, infinite reparation, infinite thanksgiving, that through this all-powerful sacrifice we can obtain whatever we ask for, we ought to let nothing but strict duty and actual impossibility keep us away from daily Mass. Yes, then you take God's richest blessings along each morning and God's angels to guard them. God's angels? Why, don't you know the story of St. Wenceslas? One time the Emperor Otho and the princes and nobles of his kingdom had an important meeting, and Wenceslas was supposed to be there. But he went to Mass first and heard it through to the very end. Meanwhile the emperor became impatient, and this is the way he wished to show his displeasure at the long delay. "When he comes," he commanded, "let no one rise or make room for him." Soon Wenceslas came. Imagine the surprise of the assembled princes when they saw the mighty Emperor Otho disobey his own strict orders, arise from his splendid throne, hasten to meet St. Wenceslas, and welcome him with a reverent embrace. What was the matter? The emperor alone had seen it. 2 glorious angels, as bright as heaven, were walking at the saint's side. End of chapter 29.